Wagwan. You're listening to Knock 'em Out the Box, episode 103.
103.
My name is Vinny Paz. I'm here with my co-host with the co-most, Mr. Majestic Left, Right, Left Kid. Irish Billy is in the building.
Hello, hello.
We're in the for our American listeners. They're also caught up in the midst of the election craziness right now. Shane, our graphic designer, when he sent over the artwork, was like, yo, not only am I sick, but there's no sports on. It's all this election shit. Imagine living on the other side of the world and you got to deal with our bullshit.
So
I was like, word? He's like, bro, it's all that, like.
I'm chatting with our friends from across the pond that we'll hopefully meet up with on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And they're telling me that this is screwing up their travel plans to get in here for the fights.
Oh, I had a feeling that was going to be the case.
It's not screwing up my travel plans because I'll be in Philly on Saturday.
Yes, you will.
For the
yes,
fights.
you will. The three of us might get into some mischief. Billy, well, Irish Billy wants to, you know.
It's going to be crazy time.
Billy, will you be betting because you will be there? Because I gave you picks and you were like, yeah, I mean, I'm with this, but I'm not hotsy-totsy because there's not a lot of money. So you didn't bet at all. And both of, I said, take the over and take O'Shaquie Foster.
Right. But as you can see, like, I'm not betting tons of money. So, you know, I like doing it, but I'm not putting enough down to make money off of, you know,
wait a second.
A high odd.
You're not betting tons of money?
No, I'm looking for the diamond in the rough, the hotsy-totsy.
Brendo, he's looking for like the 40-1 Buster Douglas.
Oh, I see.
Right. Now,
that's
why I'm always asking Paz for like the round, the way of.
Now later on, B, I said, you know, who did I say might have one left to pull out? You know, one more rabbit to pull out of the hat. Javier Fortuna.
Oh yeah.
And some people think he won.
It was close. Close fight. Scored a knockdown late.
So we will be ringside on Saturday, right?
We will
be. We will be.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks to the nice folks over at Matchroom and
shout out Anthony, shout out Adam. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all.
Anthony and Adam, thank you.
See y'all in a few days.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's dive right in here. This IBF, they won't stop torturing our shows. But sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes we want to fucking displace this organization to disband. The IBF have now scheduled purse bids for Anthony Chukhadzhian versus Eduardo Sugar Nunez on Thursday, November 7th. Fight ordered as a mandatory defense of Chukhadzhian's IBF super featherweight title. I want to say Nunez, all his wins are knockouts, and he has one loss. I could be wrong if I'm thinking of the right guy.
Okay,
that's only if I'm thinking. I think he's 27-1 with 27 knockouts.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he lost 6 years ago.
Yes, 2018, I think, is when he lost. Anthony Chukhadzhian is good. Sugar Nunez, we don't know, man. When you fight in certain places or stay in certain areas, I think we talk about it almost on every show, B.
Oh, this is the guy that beat the brakes off of Miguel Mariaga, but Mariaga has.
It was an older Mariaga. Mariaga was a really good fight at one point.
Yeah, he's 30.
I think he's still hanging around, B, too. I think he fought kind of recently.
He's promoted by Tudo Zabala's son, which I used to do the Tudo Zabala cards on Boxeo Telemundo and Viernes and Telemundo.
There's a bunch of pieces in a row that are news bits, but they're all relating to Dubois. So it can kind of be seen as one piece of news. Andy Lee, who's training Joseph Parker, and I directly credit Andy Lee for Joseph Parker's recent performances. Okay. I think Andy Lee is an underrated coach, and I think he was an underrated fighter, to be honest, if we're talking about it in retrospect.
You know what happened with me with Andy Lee as a fighter? I had read so much about him because Manny Stewart was so high on him.
Yeah, he was very high on
And then like losses to Chavez Jr.
him.
There were some losses he shouldn't have had.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
then there was some good wins. It was a
yeah,
lops. Yeah, what do you call that? Uneven, some uneven
right. So it was,
performances.
it was he, yeah.
A nicer guy you cannot meet, by the way, Andy Lee.
So I've heard. So you've said.
Yeah. He said that Joseph Park is ready to challenge Daniel Dubois for the IBF belt on February 22nd if Joshua rematch doesn't happen. Then this bit of news. The IBF reaffirmed that Dubois can choose his next opponent as a voluntary defense if the Joshua rematch doesn't happen next. Full list of contenders in IBF top 15 he could fight is Ajit Caballero, who we think is good. Martin Bacoli, we love that fight. Big Bang Jang, we like that fight. Frank Sanchez, I don't like that. F.A. Ajagba, Philip Hergovich, Derek Chisora. No, get that out of here,
No,
bro.
if Derek Chisora gets that's who will get the fight too.
No. Him or this next one. You ready? I want you to tell me which one's worse, okay? For a guy that we like in Daniel Dubois and we know can fight. The aforementioned Derek Ward Chisora or Otto Wallin.
Jesus Christ.
What's more of the pits for Brendo?
I guess Wallin
Is more of the pits.
maybe. Yeah, then she's yeah.
Fabio Wardley, Jared Anderson, Guido Vianello, and Justus Hooney. I just know him by name.
I know Ike Ibiuchi's coming out of retirement, so why don't they just
that was my last bit of news.
Well, sorry about that. Why don't they just throw him in the fucking mix? Guillermo Rigondeaux is out of retirement too.
Yeah,
he might as well eat his way.
My Ike thing wasn't even news. It was a holy shit, and you have to be from our age group to get this bit of news, or you won't even know what we're talking about. No, not at all. Dubois has welcomed the potential fight versus Fabio Wardley next. Whoever I've got to destroy, I'll do it. I'm on form now. My confidence is right up there. I'm feeling on top of the world. So whoever I've got to destroy and take out of their misery, I'll do it. I like the promo, but I don't care about that fight. Next to Chisora and Wallin, that's the other one. It would be like those two lead the charge of what I don't want to see.
Right.
And then of everyone I named, Fabio Wardley would be right under that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's
Jared Big Baby Anderson, I'd rather see. And I don't want to see that. I mean, Ajit Caballero's good. Bacoli's knocking people's heads off of that. Big Bang Jang is what he is, but he fights.
Sure.
There's some names in there, so hopefully we'll know.
Well, I don't think Top Rank's going to allow.
I hope not. I hope not. So this is why this seems to be a bit more reasonable. All these things we're talking about, because Frank Warren said that he does not expect the Dubois Joshua rematch to happen next.
Oof.
And says he does not believe Dubois will fight Fabio Wardley instead. That fight could be built into something mega. There's no doubt about that. I don't know what is going on over there. We ask our UK listeners to write in a lot about UK things. Like Fabio Wardley, right? He becomes something, he becomes something. He is the dictionary definition of a local guy done good. Like this is not a world-class guy. Certainly not a world-class guy that's deserving of fighting the IBF heavyweight champion of the world for what? Back-to-back wins over what's his name? The guy knocked out cold. In the first fight, people thought it was close. It's no.
Fabio Wardley?
Yeah, he just had that
Frazier
rematch.
Clark.
Yeah. I don't know. What are we not understanding here? Is this guy heralded there? Like, was he?
I just think it's a domestic fight that they're going to drum up.
That's fair, but all right. You and I understand domestic shit. We'll talk about it. We'll go, yo, we don't care.
I think it's a domestic fight that doesn't risk too much to Dubois. He's undefeated. Fabio. I mean, I don't care to see it. I'm just saying I think that this is the thought process of a promoter.
I get the promotional, having the promotional hat on. I get I get, if I say I don't want to see Conor Ben and Chris Eubank, right? And immediately someone said, well, no, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
I'm saying I don't think anyone gives a fuck even there. Guys,
yeah,
write me, write B, or write the email, keotbboxing@gmail.com. If I'm bugging and y'all don't give a fuck about Dubois fighting Fabio Worley, and he's got to fight and win against better guys to get a shot.
Right.
I don't dislike the guy, by the way.
No,
arms in his hands.
I think this is just boxing doing boxing, where they're going to give, if they can't get the fight they want, they'll get a fight the promoter wants.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez's trainer, manager, Eddie Reynoso, has denied they're in talks to face Chris Eubank Jr. next and insisted that fight will never happen.
Ooh.
It's totally false. Eubank had his chance to fight Canelo in September, and the only thing he did was complicate the negotiations. We will not touch base with him again for a future fight. I predicted that they would fight him next. So I
thought so too.
So I'm clearly wrong there. I don't know if this is good or bad, because now does he pick someone worse than Eubank? Yeah, what do they say, B? Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, right.
When we were like, he's gonna fight Eubank and that's gonna stink. Now they're gonna fucking, if he really does Bum of the Month Club, like we talked about, like really does it.
I think I said it last week. I think they're going to try to, believe it or not, and again, I said this would never happen. They're going to angle for a Caleb Plant rematch, I think that's the angle they're going. PBC doesn't, I mean, it would be an in-house fight, Canelo and Plant.
I said you were wrong because I was sure that they were going to go Eubank Jr. next. Right. Now that I just read this, you probably have the leading.
Yeah, it's weird. And I said it would never happen. If you asked me a year ago, I said no way.
I know, but no, you probably have now picked, Brendo picks the leading contender for the Canelo sweepstakes.
He's going to get, or Christian and Billy.
See, I won't put a Christian and Billy fight in the category of you and I saying Canelo's trying to go on a Bum of the Month Club for 4 or 5 more fights, because he's the number one guy. He's the legitimate contender. He's the legitimate number one guy.
Yeah.
For one of those belts. He can punch and he's raw. Canelo's ability to do a lot of stuff in the ring, he probably is drooling over a guy like Billy. Because
young guy, it boosts his record. And Billy will probably go on to either contend or capture a title. So legacy wise, they go, it's a really good fight he had.
Right, it was a good win. Right,
undefeated guy.
If so let's say they're the two guys. What would you rather have, Caleb Plant or Christian and Billy?
And Billy, just because we haven't seen it.
Right, we don't know what to expect.
And I think after watching Caleb Plant against the Macumbi, I think Caleb Plant's lost a bit of reaction time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Canelo has as well. But like I said in previous episodes, Plant's grown on me. He does fight anybody. I just don't. I think it would be more of the same as the first fight. It wouldn't be,
We've said it. We repeat ourselves, maybe too much, but typically rematches go the same way, but worse for the guy that lost. Typically. Of course, there's trilogies. Of course, there's but typically that's what happens. This Stanionis, who hasn't fucking. When's the last time? The WBA have now scheduled purse bids for Stanionis versus Shakram Gayasov, who's 16-0 on Friday, November 8th. Fight ordered as a mandatory defense of Stanionis' WBA welterweight world title. Look, B, I understand red tape as much as anyone. I know you do. I know we talk about people's willingness or unwillingness to cross the street, but not making boots Stanionis to unify is, I'm just going to use the word perplexing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Stanionis is in no position to pull what's his name did with the other belt, whose dad's always yapping. Who
Brian
you want?
Norman.
Right. These guys are in no position to say, I want X, Y, Z. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe that this Boots fight in Philadelphia this weekend should be against Stanionis or Norman, and it's not. And we're going to talk about that later. This is big news that's sort of flying under the radar. It could be because it's not here and Americans are just ignorant, you know?
I know what you're going to say.
Frank Warren's Queensberry have signed a global broadcast deal with DAZN that will see them unite with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom on the same platforms starting April. So we got Matchroom, Queensberry, and Golden Boy all working at the same place. Eddie and Oscar taking shots back and forth. It's funny. Those guys are, that's not that type of real hatred. I'm not going to say it's all in good fun. Gamesmanship is the, if there's a bag, they'll work together. They have, you know what I mean? Do you disagree with me now since what's happened lately? It seems to be getting a little bit more chippy.
With Eddie and
Oscar?
Yeah.
It seemed playful for a while.
I think that now they're boardroom mates, so to speak. You know, they're going to have to match guys together, and when money's involved, you know, you've had partnerships in business.
Yeah.
Essentially, they're you know, they're now in bed together. No Diddy.
No, but what I'm saying is, do you think that it's okay?
Let me finish.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, they weren't roommates before. You understand what I'm saying? Now,
I do. You don't know someone till you live with them.
Right
now you live.
Now someone's putting their name on the milk, and they're going, "Wait a second, what the fuck is you doing, man?"
Right. That's my milk.
That's my milk. So, I think that yes, if they're going, both guys.
That's real low life shit too. By the way, marking food.
The worst.
Real low life, low level shit.
That gets me to move out.
I had someone do that to me, and it wasn't a roommate.
Really?
Yes. It was family that is no longer family. Take what you will from that.
Will do.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was forced upon family. And many an item had names written on
it.
Yes. Of kids, like meaning like Uncle Vin, don't touch this. And I was like, yo, this is wild.
You got to get on the island if you do that.
This is wild. Yeah, throw them on the island. Yeah, this person's on an island.
I mean, the only time we had one bum ass roommate. There's 3 of us that lived together. We had
in Connecticut.
In Connecticut, one bum ass roommate.
Mm-hmm.
And I came home one time, and I had I had turkey cold cuts in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I didn't have a lot of money.
It's lunch meat.
Cold cuts, but anyway, I was like,
the boar's head, or you were too broke for that?
No, it was too broke for that. It was
wet.
Store brand. Yeah,
it was wet.
The gel on it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I came home ready to eat it. You know what I'm saying? Hungry. Had my cheese. Had turkey. Had lettuce. Had tomatoes. Had mayo.
Yeah.
All the hamburger buns were gone. I wasn't going to use.
Oh, son of a bitch!
I noticed that first.
You son of a bitch!
I opened the thing up, and my roommate at the time.
You fucking asshole!
Fucking asshole locked himself in his room, and had like 5 hamburger buns with my cold cuts. And I broke into his room.
I like this.
I lifted up the window.
I like
this. We had like it was like a landing to get into the back door, and I opened up the window. At first, I looked in and I seen him in there.
Right.
I had to like Jimmy open the window.
You saw him spreading the mayonnaise and cheese.
So he played music.
Mm-hmm.
So he had headphones on like this, and he was sitting at his keyboard. And I saw the sandwich
playing music from Kazaa or whatever that was called.
LimeWire. He composed music. He was making music.
I understand.
But he would wear his headphones when he would do it, and he would always lock himself in his room when he would do it. So I jumped into the fucking room while he was in there.
Hamburger roll stealing. You fucking cork sucker.
Stole my shit back. Like this, you know, like I was Emmitt Smith on the 1 yard line, trying to get in, got out of there, and we scrapped it out in the backyard, straight up, like it ruined the whole. whole friendship.
I do want to correct myself, B. In your situation, young and broke, with roommates, people do only have money to buy themselves food. I'm talking like family situations.
So 2 of us, we tried to cut the third guy in, like, yo, we all go shopping together.
Right, right. Buy what we want. We all want.
Right. We all, and then we all.
Yeah.
And if one guy ate it first, all right.
That's cool. It's like we're gonna do the family
He
gimmick.
said, no, I'm gonna get my own shit, and then stole our cold cuts.
This is what I'm saying to you, okay? My scenario, and you're gonna agree with me. I already know. I don't have to tell it. Let's say your lovely wife's sister or your sister comes and stays. I'll say, maybe not to live, extended time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The house is being worked on. She's got to stay for a month.
Yeah.
And your wife is like marking the turkey. So your sister feels like, oh,
Yeah,
that's, you're a horrible person. That's
Sure.
That's the shit I dealt with.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about roommates.
Yeah, you're either a guest or you're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a guest is welcome to everything in my house.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Of course. Yeah, so real quick, B. Frank Warren has said our guy, Hamza Shiraz's next fight will be for a world title on the same card as Daniel Dubois' return on February 22nd in Riyadh, though he did not confirm whether or not this will be versus Janibek. So who has a, there has to be.
Everything I saw today was that everyone's saying it's going to be Janibek, but no one's confirmed it.
Okay. I like that for him, Hamza Shiraz.
Yeah.
I
like
think he's
both guys actually.
Yeah, we think he's really good on this show, Hamza Shiraz. I still don't think people know him, but he's really good. Finally, and guys, if you're closer to our age, I know a lot of younger guys listen to the show. Shout out to y'all for listening to us. Our buddy Doc Holliday is more our age. He'll appreciate this. He hit me up and said, "You guys almost fumbled the ball with Sucre Ray," because he's from that area.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So he wanted to remind us, y'all almost dropped the ball where he was
That
from.
he's from New Bedford?
Right. But then he said,
real quick though, at middleweight, and we always forget about this guy, Carlos Adames.
Yes, he's got a belt.
WBC.
Yes.
And Lara has the WBA.
Yes. What promotional? We know Lara is with PBC. We know he's 300 years old, and we know he fights once a year max.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Adames with? One of the UK guys? And who was the last time he defended that title, and against who?
Looking now.
Let's unify every belt. Let's unify the 3 belts that the belts that Erislandy Lara doesn't have, who I like very much, as people know on this show.
Terrell Goucher.
So Terrell Goucher was the last. When was that?
In June.
All right. It's 5 months. So he needs something, it could be him. It could be him.
That was on the, well, he's PBC too though. Because that was on Davis Martin.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Lastly, again, this is for guys, from our era. Ika Beabuchi is set to return to professional boxing at age 51 after 25 years out of the ring, as he is now officially scheduled to face Ayman Farouk Abbas on December 7th in Nigeria. Beabuchi was a 20-0 heavyweight in 99 on course for a world title shot. Then he was sentenced to 2 to 10 years for battery with intent to commit a crime. Now, I remember he gets out of jail and he's on the cover of Ring magazine cheesing. And I'm like, the president is back, because I was the biggest Beabuchi fan. I thought he was the future. He gets out on the cover of the Ring on some comeback kid shit. He was still young. He gets 3 to 20 years for attempted sexual assault after being deemed incompetent to stand trial because he's bipolar. He's free now and set to fight again. I don't know. He was in Vegas. That's where he was in jail. Is he back over? They're saying Nigeria. So did they deport him?
Get out of jail?
Did they deport him? Like, yo, you're out, but you're out of here?
I don't know.
Guys, if you don't know who Ike Ibeabuchi is, YouTube his fight with David Tua. I believe at the time it was the record for most punches thrown in a heavyweight fight, at least at the time. It was a long time ago, guys. It's
Yeah.
97, 98. Had
97.
to be, yeah. Guys, Chris Bird, a champion who fought everyone. A small heavyweight, but a granite chin. Ike Ibeabuchi destroyed him in 5. Ike rocked a part in his hair. Ike, everything about Ike said, future of the sport. I don't know if guys that reigned from when he got locked up to from when he got locked up to the
They were going to make a Tyson fight, weren't they? Wasn't that the deal?
There was like 4 fights. They were talking Lennox. I mean, bro, I don't even think he was in his 30s yet, which isn't even your prime. He was like 26, 27 when he got booked. So he had a 10-year run, and he was already going to war and destroying top 10 guys. Ike Ibeabuchi, guys, if you're not hip, you want to talk. Is he the biggest what if in the history of the sport? He's top 5, right?
At least recent years.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we go into the 40s and some guy lost a limb in the World War or something, but yeah. But I mean, in the modern era, or let's say 25 years, let's even trim it up.
Yeah. I mean, I would say definitely in the last 25 years.
He had everything.
Yeah,
he had everything.
He's really fucking good. Just crazy as fucking shit.
Nuttier than squirrel shit.
Right.
Yeah, and couldn't even process that he was like, oh, I'm out. Oh, I'll just rape somebody.
Yeah.
Like they're just gone, shot.
Yeah.
Do you know how loped out you got to be deemed incompetent? Everyone wants to be deemed incompetent.
Right.
You shit your pants. You do whatever you got to do for someone to be like, oh, he's a loon for real. Like that's where he was. Like in a like.
Yeah, I would say him, and for the same crimes, Tony Ayala.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tony Ayala did the same thing too.
Did the same
got
shit.
out. He did a long bid, got out, won a couple fights, couple good wins on Friday night fights, got a championship fight, lost it, and did the same thing. Like, bro, like literally breaking in and sexually assaulting women.
Yeah.
Into home, just like awful shit.
Yeah. Awful shit.
Yes. Yeah, Ayala remember, we were little kids. They were like, no, he's the next guy. He's going to beat Boom Boom. He's going to beat Pazienza. He's going to beat Haugen. Like that was what
he was off for 16 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some fights, that happened. Humacao, isn't that where your wifey's family is from?
Mm-hmm.
PR. Nicholas Polanco, 22-7, 13 KOs versus Leonardo Padilla, 23-6, with 1 draw, 16 KOs. This Padilla was throwing bombs to the body. In the second, Polanco went down from a body shot. He insisted it was low. So he's on the ground arguing, doing the, yo, I got hit in the dong. And the ref's like, yeah, and counting. So it was a knockout. After I saw the replays, multiple replays, it was low. But Padilla got the victor KO knockout. It was low. You got to at least get up and argue if you're gonna. Yo, I got. I mean, he was down on a knee, like verbalizing. You know what I mean? And I'm just going, get up.
Yeah.
A kid named Christian Barreto, 11-0. Some of these guys are on Pazzi's prospects. Christian Barreto, 11-0, 8 KOs versus Miguel Marrero, 10-1, 4 KOs. Barreto is short and stocky, strong, throws bombs, no jab. Remember Mr. KO, Julian Letterlow?
Yeah.
Rest in peace. He reminds me of a lightweight Julian Letterlow. Miguel Marrero down in the second from a monster right hand. If Barreto tightened his shots up a little bit, he'd be a menace, that like little stocky type of menace.
Yeah.
That hits hard as shit. He just needs to tighten up his shots a little bit. But he started jabbing a little bit, so it's in his toolbox. Barreto ends the fight with a right hand in the 5th and moves to 12-0, 9 KOs. He's going to make for fun fights. I don't know how good he is.
Say his name again so people know.
Christian Barreto, Barreto, 12-0, 9 KOs. He's going to be fun, man, and he's going to cause people problems, and he's going to be in wars. You know, we'll see if he can do the stuff. I like to see the jab more, and I was like, I guess it's just not in his arsenal. And then he started using it. I just like him to tighten his shots up a little bit.
Yeah, he's 28. Shit.
Is he? Wow. They got to move. So they're trying, you know. Juan Camacho. I was curious. He was related to the late great Hector Camacho. He is not. 17-1 versus Jason Mama. 20-1. WBO, NABO flyweight title. Juan Camacho was boxing well, good jab, moves his head well, countering. In the 3rd round, both guys threw punches simultaneously, and Camacho was knocked off balance, and his glove touched the canvas. You know, the ref ruled it a knockdown, and I get it, but you hate them. You know, you hate to see them because he was fine. It was off balance. And watching the replay, it was an awful call.
Okay.
You know, but again, this is why instant replay is important.
Yeah, it should be part of every fight.
Agreed. Awful call. Body shot from Camacho hurt Mama. Hurt him bad in the 6th going downstairs. The fight starts breaking out. Right hand dropped Camacho in the 9th, and he was hurt. It was close. I had it 95-93 for Jason Mama. Judges had it a split decision, 96-92 Camacho. What's that?
Fight was in Puerto Rico.
Correct.
Yeah.
96-92 Mama, 95-93 Camacho. I realize I said it was close, but I can't see how you could give it to Camacho. But we talk about that all the time, baby. We go, this is close, but I can't see how you would have given it to the other guy.
Right.
So it sort of sounds like, you know.
Well, the Filipino guy's not going to get, you know, he'd have to kill him to get a
to get a draw.
Yeah, to get a draw in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Rene Santiago, 12-4. Ricardo Alstuvilca, last minute replacement, big. This guy was. Good, fun fight. Alstuvilca is tough. This dude I believe he came in on a day's notice, B. Rene Santiago is more technically skilled, but Alstuvilca is a goon. Bad cut opened up on him in the 6th from a punch. Look, the more talented guy will usually start to take over. That's, you know, that's how it goes, and that's what happened. But to make matters worse, Alstuvilca seemed to hurt his right arm in the 7th. I had Rene Santiago winning, but Ricardo Alstuvilca won the whole card, in my opinion.
Okay.
A 35-year-old last-minute replacement that fought his heart out and showed the world what not giving up looks like.
And he's from Peru. It's not like he's from some boxing hotbed.
Of course.
Yeah.
It was a wide UD on the cards for Rene Santiago. I want to see Ricardo Alstuvilca again, man. He was just a goon. And look, Friday night on DAZN, Orlando, Florida. Did you see this card?
No, I just watched the very short Jermaine Ortiz, Ruben Mino.
Okay, so I'm gonna rip through real quick. A kid named Chavez Barrientos, 9-0, 6 KOs, been in camp with Tank and Haney. Look, he's 5'11", fighting at 122. We're starting to see these dudes that are cheat codes, babe. Against a guy named Noah Contreras that was 9-1. Contreras down early in the 1st. After he felt that power, he was looking to clinch. Huge left hook from Barrientos, dropped Contreras again in the 6th. A knockdown at the end of the bell in the 8th. Contreras is a tough kid. Barrientos is good. Good kid, too. I like this post-fight interview. Wide UD for Barrientos goes to 10-0. Guys, keep your eye out for Chavez Barrientos. He's got a twin brother, too, that fights. He's a Pazzi prospect. Caipo Gallegos, 18 years old, southpaw, 6-0, 5 KOs. versus a guy named Iron Alvarez, maybe the hardest name ever.
Iron Alvarez.
And that's the birth name. That's not the nickname.
I like it.
Yeah. Gallegos is being billed as a prodigy. You know, this, you know.
Yeah.
Iron Alvarez started his career 14-0, had issues outside of the ring. So it's not like this guy can't fight. Gallegos would let 5-6 punch combinations go and would land, but Alvarez would come back and land some big right hands. Alvarez is a crafty guy, good fight. The announcers were giving this Kaipo Gallegos way more credit than I was, way more. You know, Iron Alvarez is doing very well, and I had it close through 5. The ref stopped the fight in the 7th, but Iron Alvarez was throwing back. I don't love the stoppage. I'd like for you to see it. If you could find a quick clip. The commentators were saying Gallegos was winning every round big. That was not what I was saying. He was not, that was not happening. A prodigy? No. A kid that has some skills and plenty of room to grow and get better? Absolutely. Again, he's only 18. We talked about a kid that was 18 on the last show. You don't really want to murder someone, you know?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the main event, B. Jermaine Ortiz, 17-2, 8 KOs versus Christian Mino, 24-9, 17 KOs. This is at 140. This Jermaine Ortiz had Trump really big on the front of his trunks.
Yeah. The big Trumper.
Wild thing, watching the Latinos and black contingency that's like on some pro-Trump stuff is wild. We're not a political show, so we're not going to get into that at all. But I just find that it's odd because
I find it odd too. You know,
that's all. That's all I'm going to say.
The broadcasting of your sort of political stuff, you know, but that's what makes boxing because like another sport you couldn't really do this, you know, like couldn't like put whatever you wanted on your uniform.
Yeah, well, there's that UFC guy who like plays the heel and wears like the MAGA hat, and that's like how he got over.
Yeah, so just fighting sports, you can do that.
Yeah. So what do you think happened here? Mino dropped in round 1 from a flurry. It's
he's ranked like 4. I looked him up. He's ranked like 400th in the division.
This is a no diddy before I even drop it. Ortiz looks huge at 140. How this kid was making 35 to fight Lomachenko, which are in another fucking example of the monsters that Lomachenko is fighting.
Yeah.
This Teo's ready to go to 47, 54. Right. This Haney's gonna end up at 47.
Yeah.
Every single person, with the exception of Rigon Diao, basically by the end of the day, you're going to see who this guy was fighting and the monsters he was fighting.
Especially towards the end of his run. You know, not when he was fighting, you know, on his
Gary Russell.
Rocky, what the hell's his name?
Oh, yeah. Rocky Martinez.
Rocky
Martinez flew his fucking head at the garden.
Right. This is, I don't even know how much this is worth talking about. It's Ortiz's first foray at junior welterweight. But like I said, it's against the guy ranked between I saw different things between 300th and 400th in the division. As far as I'm concerned, if you've had a world title shot or you vied for a world title or you have owned a piece of a world title, and you have 20 or so professional fights, I actually have a problem with when guys fight guys that low in the division.
Well,
you're really in cab driver land.
Last week we spoke about us having an issue with Raymond Muratalla,
right?
Coming off a very close fight with a really good Tevin Farmer and going backwards. Now we're not putting that on Ray Muratalla, by the way, guys. You know, but so Mino's dropped in the first from a flurry. You know, there was nothing huge there. Down again in the second from a body shot. I'm starting to go, okay, I'm seeing how this is going to play out. This guy's got nothing for him. A massive left hook up top. Then went downstairs with it to end the fight in the 4th. This is the best shape I've ever seen Jermaine Ortiz in.
Probably the weight he should be at.
And this is the best I've ever seen him look. Like you said, what does that mean when you're fighting the 300th guy there? This is what you're supposed to do. Has he found power at 28 years old, or was it just the opponent?
It's the opponent.
You know, he called out Rayo, Leopardo, Hitchens, and Teofimo. I'm not mad at that fight for anything because I think Jermaine Ortiz is good.
Yeah.
And like you said, man, it's the guy. You're talking about cab drivers. Yeah, he looked great, but you're supposed to.
Right.
Against guys like this. Sometimes these fights happen, B, and we go, we learned nothing. We just said it about someone who wiped someone out. Someone we think is really good, and they mop someone up. We said, we learned nothing. I don't remember who it was.
I can't remember, but yeah, this is that.
Saturday on DAZN, Beck Bully, 14-0, 10 KOs versus a kid named David Stevens, 14-1, 10 KOs, 168. This was a WBA eliminator. I'm assuming that's one of the belts that Canelo has, right? One organization stripped him, or so we've been talking about Beck Bully since the beginning of this show because he kind of started when we did. He was a prize prospect coming out of the Olympics. His footwork is really good, moves well, but when he gets hit, it all goes out the window, B, and he starts to trade. Did you watch this, or did you just watch?
Yeah, I did. I watched.
Okay.
I don't think much of him.
He keeps that right hand really low, big.
Yeah.
Always has. Joel Diaz needs to correct that, or another disaster is going to happen, like the Gabe Rosado knockout. I thought David Stevens is good. He's from Reading, PA, which is about an hour and a half outside of Philly, trained by Ronnie Shields. He's only 24. He knows what he's doing in there. Good jab, short, crisp shots, tight defense. I like this guy. He came to win, and these two for a minute, they were slinging them dogs for a minute.
Yeah, it was a splitter. I mean, good fight.
Yeah, Beck Bully rips the body. He goes downstairs as often as most guys jab. That might be something you don't like because up top, he's there for counters.
Sure.
Then he starts coming up with big shots. David Stevens' one loss was by KO, but he was eating heavy shots. So I think his chin is legit. When Melakuziev boxes, you can kind of see the pedigree, but it's easy to lure him into a war, and get him out of that. I think that's something that, maybe an 18, 19-year-old fighter would deal with.
I don't know, man. I just to see anybody with a decent bit of athleticism that's ranked in the top 12,
I think he can be athletic though, B. Those early rounds, he moves his head well. You touch him and he it's like remember very, very, very early Gotti. He was a boxer.
Yeah.
Then he turned into a brute. Then Buddy McGirt built him back up as a boxer, and then the Ward fight happens. I mean,
right.
you watch Gotti, Tehran Millette. The guy looked like a fucking master. So I'm saying,
I'd like to see Beck Bully in there with like Edgar Berlanga, Steve so-called, Nelson. You know what I mean?
I do.
That's why I want to see him in there.
But I think this kid David Stevens could fight a little bit. B. He didn't come to lay down.
Agreed.
This was a split decision.
Right.
That was a little wild. No, did you think it? I know you didn't score it.
I was surprised by a splitter. I thought that it was going to be a UD.
Someone had it 8-4, 116, 116, 116, 112 for Stevens. Other card was 118, 110 Beck Bully, 117, 111 Beck Bully.
I'd say you had it like 117, 111, 116, 112.
Yeah, that seems about right
again,
to me.
I don't think that highly of him, so maybe I'm a little.
No, I want to be clear that I'm not like saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I see things that are good there. But if you don't use those things, then I'm not going to say, oh, you do this beautifully when you abandon in the third.
Right.
I saw him moving, good head movement. His feet are good. But if you get touched, if you get clipped by a nice right hand and then you stand there and try to bang it out, no diddy.
Yeah.
Then I got nothing for you in terms of me hailing you. If this dude just ends up being a guy who's always in wars, then we'll say that. We'll be like, yeah, you win some, you lose some, but he's in fun fights. Right. That's what he ends up being. But Floyd Schofield, B. 17-0, 12 KOs versus Rene Teles Giron, 135. First thing I notice every time I see him fight, B, is how wide Floyd Schofield's stance is.
How square he gets.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I got a lot of opinions about this.
Okay. He snaps a nice hard jab.
That was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
If these are bad, it appears to be bad gym habits. Where against lesser guys with headgear, heavier gloves on and stuff, you can try things, right? You're trying stuff like you switch stances constantly. Sure. I mean, it's insane. And after a few times of switching stances, the opponent's not confused anymore.
He's not befuddled anymore.
No.
I will say this, B. Can I say this real quick? He does do it pretty seamlessly. It doesn't look like he's struggling.
Seamlessly. What I'm saying is,
I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah, I think, but
again, I get you. It's easy to pick up. It's a tell.
The point I'm making is, most really good guys, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, Floyd Schofield's really good. He's not at this level if he's not really good at 22. He's really good.
Yeah.
Can do that. I've said this on the show in the past. It's defending from the other stance that's not your natural stance.
Correct.
That's the hard part. Offense is easy.
And we're against a guy that's not Rene Giron.
Right.
Might put you in your back pockets.
Rene Teles Giron can get to you.
Right.
And is inviting you in.
Right.
I got to say this. From the orthodox stance, when he was snapping the jab, like you said, he looked fantastic.
Yes.
I don't know why he does that. So I can only attribute that to bad gym habits and where he's probably clearing out the gym. And hey, guys, we talked about a guy before, Andy Lee. Not that he switched stances, but he would clear out the crunk. So what I'm saying is,
when look, we know who Emmanuel Stewart trained and saw.
Right.
Forget guys he trained, the guys he saw and went up against.
When Manny's saying this guy, I got this kid that clears out my gym.
Yes.
He's killing guys in sparring.
Yes.
I'm sure Floyd Schofield does the same thing.
I agree with you.
And
we have
hang on. What I was going to say was
sorry.
I just think that this stuff is developed in the gym, and I think you can course correct very easy and just say, hey, you're more successful in the orthodox stance. Stay with what you're doing. Pump the jab. I got to say, typically I disagree with trainer dads. His dad was calling out good instructions and telling him what not to do. And Schofield would listen a little bit, but then he'd get his bell rung and all that shit went out the window. I think
we possibly have another Angel Garcia, Teofimo Sr., Bill Haney on our hands. We'll see in his fault. I'm not talking about corner work.
Right. I think the dad's
he's doing good corner work.
Doing good for that fight. The thing is, Ronnie Shields is there as well, and so I'm not sure.
Ronnie Shields needs to clean these things up, B. If he doesn't need to switch stances, look, if you have that in your back pocket, B, okay,
right,
I have no problem with it. When you're switching stances in a 10, 12 round fight 40 times, okay,
right,
it's not.
It just seems strange to me, and he was getting hit when he would in between switching stances. Guy would time him, and he just wasn't as successful from the southpaw stance. So there's another guy we're going to talk about later. Same deal. I don't understand it. Stay in the orthodox stance. We get it. You can do it. Stay where you're at.
Look, for what it's worth, this is the best I've seen Floyd Schofield look. I thought he might shit the bed here. I don't mean shit the bed and lose, but just
he's got balls.
He does. Are we saying this because of Giron's style? Most likely, but I like the mix of skill and aggression. Get your shots off, get out of there. He used angles. It was some good stuff. Giron has a titanium chin. I mean, I'm not saying Schofield's a destroyer, but he got hit with some shots.
Bro, he was cracking them.
Schofield got dropped in the 11th from what looked like a slip. The replay showed their legs got tangled, but it was ruled a knockdown. That stuff is tricky. He traded with this guy in the last 2 rounds. I have no idea what he was thinking. None. no idea. I scored the fight. I had it 118-109 for Floyd Schofield.
Yeah.
Judges had it 118-109 twice, 116-111 UD for Floyd Schofield. What are your thoughts? Where does he go from here?
Keep doing what you're doing. You're not ready for the guys he's been calling out.
Did you see Shakur tweeting live?
Yeah.
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 Funny.
And then of course Tank weighed in as well.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, Schofield after that, I believe it was the second round. He goes to sit in the corner and missed his stool. Did you see that?
I mean, I watched the fight.
He stumbled to and he missed sitting on the stool. So Tank grabs a screen grab from that, and he's like, something to the effect of like, "You're not ready for me. Also, your dad fucked up your shape up."
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Also on Saturday night from Verona, New York. We'll start here. Abraham Nova and the best mascot in sports. Bro, he was killing. We said we loved the mascot, and he did not disappoint.
No.
He would caught wreck. He was shadow boxing. He was salsa dancing.
I think the mascot's better than Nova.
He might be. I love this Abraham Nova. Verse 23-3. He only lost to good guys, 16 knockouts. That's a little bit deceptive. It seems like he might could crack, but that's a little deceptive. He really can't. The 16 KOs.
Yeah.
He fought a guy named Humberto Galindo, 14-3, 11 KOs. Been in tough against Haratunian, Raymond Muratalla, and Abraham Nova. For a kid with not a lot of fights, he was in tough. I like this Abraham Nova. I don't know.
He's a fan. He's like a fan favorite. He's like
he moves well.
Underdog.
He feints well. Good jab. Puts a nice jab downstairs. He doesn't throw it enough to me. Galindo landed a big right in the first that hurt Nova, but he didn't panic. He recovered quickly. You could tell a veteran from that. Galindo knows what he's doing in there, and he can crack. Good matchup. Again, we have a guy in Nova who's clearly more talented, but a tough, gritty guy that came to win. They can upset the apple cart. We've seen it happen.
Right.
Nova started to stick and move really well. Galindo was chasing him, but reluctant to let his shit go because Nova counters really well. Look, Nova has some pop, I guess. I don't know. It looks deceptive to me I don't know. But it wasn't enough to stop Galindo from coming forward,
Yeah.
Tough kid, this Galindo. Close rounds, they were nip and tuck to me. When Galindo wasn't working, Nova was waiting. He wasn't creating anything.
Yeah, dude,
which I didn't like. We have. What are you doing?
Right. I don't know if he's taking breaks or he gets caught in the moment. I'm not sure. It's strange.
I was hoping you'd have an answer for me because I don't have one.
I don't know. Listen, we're in no way saying he's elite. Will never be a headliner Nova. He is an undercard guy. He's a classic undercard guy.
Yeah.
Fan favorite. But if he's going to have these gaps where in inactivity, I'm saying during the fight,
yeah,
he'll lose that status too.
I don't know what he's doing. He's not creating. So
can he tag in the mascot at that point?
Yes, tag him in.
Yeah,
this Galindo would be doing nothing, and I'm like, bro, move your hands.
Right,
do something.
Show the judge something.
I don't know if you think I'm off here. I'd say more than half the rounds were tough to score. I had it 96-94 Abraham Nova. Judges had it 97-93 Galindo, 96-94 Nova, and 95-95. It was a split draw. I guess that's,
whatever.
This kid Bryce Mills, we said there are no longer white hypes except Vito Mielnicki. I think I found another one. This Bryce Mills. He didn't seem. He was a local kid from that area, upstate. Versus Mike Ohan Jr. at 140, local kid. Meh. Ohan's corner stopped at the end of the fifth. Raymond Muratalla, 21-0, 16 knockouts. Coming off, he eked out a win against Tevin Farmer. We were not happy again with who he was fighting against, Jesus Perez. 25-5, 18 KOs. Look, we thought this was a step back fight. We agreed on it. We agree on it now.
Yeah.
Perez was overmatched in every possible box you could check, B. Brutal body shot at the beginning of the second, drop Perez. He got up and then got dropped by a monster right hand.
Yes.
He got up, but his legs were gone. The ref called it off. Jesus Perez was never stopped before. So is that a feather in Muratalla's cap with what we're saying? This is,
Yeah, I mean, that's a couple of people I talked to were like, "Oh, well, he's never been stopped for. He's never been stopped for." I'm like,
all right, so it's not a feather in his cap. I'd also like to say
for
that this
me, no,
Raymond,
and I don't,
I got
don't,
you.
yeah, I don't
I'm
mean
not
to
mad at
dismiss
that.
that, but like we said, you can't look bad in that. He came back, looked good. Time to step him up. I think he's 20. How old is he?
27.
27.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
He's got the personality of a dead moth, so I'm not sure I'm not sure that's helping this kid any in this
He seems
age,
humble.
on this age where literally talking shit gets you fights. People
Right.
used to say things like that, but it wasn't real. It was created in some fantasy world. Now fights get made on Twitter and Instagram.
Right.
And this guy's got the personality of a wet sock. So I don't know. He's not going to talk his way into anything. He's going to have to fight his way into it.
I think he can.
Okay. The main event, Robson Conceição, 19-2-1, 9 KOs versus Oshaki Foster, 22-3, 12 KOs for the WBC Junior Lightweight Championship. My guy is Conceição. I said I was rooting for him, and my pick was a UD or a UD for Oshaki Foster. I said if you want to get frisky with money, Oshaki Foster is going to go balls to the wall. He did not. And try to stop him. Conceição was jabbing well upstairs, downstairs, going downstairs to test that body. Conceição, again, you refused to give him credit the first time around. You probably don't give him credit this time around. He's picking off all those shots with his arms and then landing to the body.
This is another guy, Oshaki Foster, switches stances. Why?
Yeah. Well, he would throw 3 or 4 punch combinations, being Conceição would catch them, and he'd throw a left hook to the body and a left up top. It's another guy who.
And similarly, when Foster did what I told him to do, which was jab his way, he doesn't jab his way in.
Right, when you were in the corner, when you were in the gym with him, and you told him, jab your way in.
When I sent him this show.
He's another guy that we talk about, these dudes who are convinced they're so athletic that their brain tells them, my athleticism is winning these fights because I look aesthetically better. Because Conceição looks all wrong and shit fighting.
You know what, though? Conceição was way sharper this fight than the last fight. Number one. Number two, like you said, doubling up the jab, much better this fight than the last fight. I think Oshaki Foster, similarly, looked better this fight than the last fight. I just think Conceição looked that much better this fight than the last fight. And Foster, it looked like if I was Foster, and I think I said this last week, I would dedicate the first 20 seconds of every round for the judges, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would jab. I would be on the front foot, and then I'd go onto his back foot nonsense where he just doesn't throw enough punches. But I don't understand. He's trying to walk guys down without a jab. First of all, you're not fast enough to make up.
He thinks he is.
He does think he is.
He thinks he is. He's
flat-footed. He's flat. He has, I guess, good defense.
Remember when you talk about TV, and pay-per-views and et cetera, and you would talk about the Tyson effect?
Yes.
This is the Roy going into Floyd effect on these guys.
Roy going into
the Roy era into the Floyd era, and these are the guys that this age are like, oh, that's my guy, and I'm like, you are not as athletic as them.
No, you're not.
They were both freakishly athletic and fast,
and you're not quick.
No,
you're slower than shit. And again, though, with technique, and doing the right things,
correct. Through 4, I thought Conceição was doing whatever he wanted, B. because Foster would land a nice right hand counter, then Conceição would counter the counter with a left hook. So the kid, so where's all the
where I said that it was a robbery last fight? I don't think this was necessarily a robbery, this split decision, but I had Conceição winning.
I think it's a bad card.
I think it's a bad card.
Look, you talked about him jabbing more. I wrote that he totally abandoned the jab.
Doesn't jab.
I don't know if it's Conceição was putting a right hand over the top of it. Is that why he did it?
No, because if you look at the beginning of some of the rounds, he would listen to his corner. Yeah. I don't know. I forgot his corner man, Foster's corner man, but I like him. He doesn't get excited. He was giving the right instructions.
Right.
He's telling them what to do. He's saying you got to jab your way in, stay away from this. Don't go south. I don't know if I think he said it. I could be conflating the two. Don't switch stances. Of course, he switches stances. But what are you trying to prove when you're switching stances? I don't get that.
We asked earlier.
I don't get it.
I think it's this. They believe that a part of, you can talk about judges' criteria, clean, effective punching, ring generalship, things like that. In their minds, I'm not talking about the reality. In their minds, I think athleticism / switching stances in their mind is some sort of show of superiority as a fighter, and it's not.
Foster is a look. He is what he is. He's a middle of the road rank guy. That's what he is. I think you almost expect more from him, but
I keep expecting more from him, and it never happens.
I think we got to throw that out the window.
Okay, let's do it then.
He's slow. He's inactive, slow, and flat-footed. Okay, Vinny, he's an above-average guy.
Yeah, agreed.
That's it.
Look, through eight rounds, this was the best I ever saw Conceição fight, and I've seen all of his televised fights. This was a good fight.
Right.
I had it 115, 113 for Robson Conceição. The judges had it 115, 113 Foster, 115, 113 Conceição, 115, 113 Foster, split decision, and new O'Shaquie Foster.
Whatever.
I don't know what Conceição does now. He's not young. He's a hero in Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, he's the first. I didn't realize he's the first
Olympic gold medalist from Brazil. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I always liked Robson Conceição. You guys that listen to this show know I always big.
I like him too. I like him too. I don't think O'Shaquie Foster, for the sake of ESPN, should be a headliner. I think that they should fix that.
I mean, he's got a belt now, so we're going to see one.
You put him as a co-feature.
If you put him as a co-feature on a big card,
honestly,
I think
put him with Muratalla. No, it's a different weight class.
They're one below, right? I think so. There's some people at 130 that's going to eat his food, man.
Absolutely, and I think Top Rank knows it, and they should make that fight ASAP. Get him out of there. He is the cure for insomnia.
Yeah. This week, Thursday, November 7th, up in Montreal on ESPN Plus. Osleis Iglesias versus Petro Ivanov, 12-round super middleweights, 168. I've talked about this kid before. He can fight a little bit. Osleis Iglesias. So, guys, we love this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This whole thing, it's been happening lately.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Friday night, November 8th in Norfolk, ESPN Plus. Aren't all the Davis brothers fighting on this card? I don't know much of the other two.
I know two of the three are fighting.
I think all three are.
All three are fighting. By the way, Iglesias is going to park this Ivanov bad. He's a Ukrainian guy fighting out of Germany.
I think he does him dirty.
Dirty. You guys want to see a brutal knockout?
Yeah, within 6.
Yeah. All right. Norfolk, Virginia, Friday night.
One of our guys, one of our KEOTB prospects, Abdullah Mason.
Yeah.
We got to get into brothers I know that have that name in Philly. Say Abdullah. they say Abdullah. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
we just we'll straighten that out. We want to say everyone's name. You know, I love Abdullah Mason. I don't know much about Johan Vasquez. 8 rounds, lightweights. Abdullah Mason's polite. He's a good kid. He's well spoken. He does and says the right things inside and out of the ring. He lives clean outside of it. What do you think here, B? Does he beat him up and get this guy out of here? You know, he's not a destroyer per se. I say he gets him. I say Abdullah Mason is just beating him up and it stopped in the 6th. Not, you know, a destructive Julian Jackson 1-punch power. But I think he busts him up and, you know, Johan Vasquez had enough in 6.
He's
Any
lost
thoughts?
three of his last 4. He stopped a guy who was 30-0 in his last fight.
Okay.
From Poland. I'm talking about
Abdullah Mason's really good.
Vasquez. I think Mason's gonna eat his lunch. They're gonna stop the fight.
So we agree. When
Yeah.
I'm saying 6. He's all busted up and
4.
cool. Troy Isley, a guy we like on this
Mm-hmm.
show. Troy Isley doesn't get much.
Troy Isley's really good, guys. Really good
really
technique. Not
good
a lot of power.
Because he doesn't get a lot of knockouts. He doesn't get a lot of ink, as they used to say when we read boxing magazines and newspapers.
He doesn't get a lot of clicks.
Right. There you go. Thank you for correcting the old man. Troy Isley's really good, guys. He's fun to watch. Really, really talented. I like a lopsided decision, B, and then I'd like them to get him.
Dude, he's fighting a 20-1 guy.
Yeah.
From Tennessee.
Troy Isley is at middleweight. We spoke about it earlier. There's not a lot of people hanging around there. You know, if they unify some of those belts.
Yeah.
The main event, guys, Keyshawn
That's gonna
Davis.
go the distance. The Troy Isley fight, I think.
Yes, agreed. I believe it's lopsided, though. I think he puts on a clinic.
Davis versus Gustavo Lemos.
Yes. B has been what word should we use, B, for your feelings on Keyshawn before I put words in?
What word should I use? I approach with trepidation.
I like that.
I think he's really good. There's something there that makes me nervous. And this is a fucking step up here.
Here's the thing with me with
the guy
him.
that gave Hitchens hell.
Yes. B.
A weight class up.
So they start him and start moving him what would be considered fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was 5-0, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh no, this kid's ready to be moved fast. And then quickly was like, oh, they need to slow it down more than I thought they should.
They're not. This is a serious step up.
Gustavo Lemos is good and is looking for the upset special.
Absolutely.
They can crack.
There to win.
They can crack, bro. I'm telling you, guys, these guys from Argentina, Colombia, these guys can punch.
Yeah, and this is his natural weight, I think. No, he's actually moving down. I mean, this guy beat Lee Selby, beat him up bad. He's good, guys.
I think Keyshawn Davis has some problems with him.
If he doesn't, I will change my opinion.
This is the exact fight for me to do that.
Right.
Because I would remember early on our shows, I was high on Keyshawn and you were going, I'm proceeding with caution.
Right.
I'm not saying you're an idiot, but I'm not sold. And I was. Then these middle fights, I've been like, there's still chinks in the armor that need to be cleaned up. He could be hit.
If he beats up Gustavo Lemos on Friday, by the way, my official pick is that this goes the distance in a really tough fight. I'm going to go Keyshawn 115-113 in a barn burner.
Is Irish William here? Can he get anything on this? And do we pick an upset special for him or no?
Which fight we talking about?
Oh my God.
Keyshawn Davis versus Gustavo Lemos.
Give me a second. I do have
B is right. He beat shit down Lee Selby's leg a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Jason Gonzalez got out there in 2. Uh, this is a funny one to have on your ledger, B. Jorge Paez Jr.
Yeah.
Look, that Richardson Hitchens fight on paper is a UD loss. He gave him hell. And he gave him fits, and Hitchens is good.
I have Keyshawn Davis minus 575 and 8.5 rounds.
I love that over.
Over.
I love that over, Billy. And if you're feeling froggy and want to leap, I might throw like 10 clams on this Gustavo Lemos because he's good and he can fight. And Keyshawn's on the come up, Billy.
Okay.
He's young and he's only got 11 fights, Billy.
25 years old, 11 fights.
So this is looked at as a step up, you know, like, yo, all right, now you're in here with a real guy.
I think Keyshawn's going to have to proceed with caution in this fight. And he gets sucked into wars.
He does. That's why I said it. And he can get clipped.
Right. And if he gets sucked into a war with Lemos, it's not going to be good.
He does something big where he gets into my offense is my defense mode. And only certain guys can do that and get away with it. We don't know if that's the case here yet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But he will absolutely abandon defense at certain times.
And he just gets in there and goes forehead to forehead and just starts banging it out. Yeah,
and this might not be the guy you want to do that with. I'm with B. I absolutely love the over. I think it goes the distance, and I think it's a tough fight. And I think it's a 116, 112, 115, 113 type fight. Saturday in Philadelphia, the Zone.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. Khalil Cole, Billy's fist bumping.
Versus, on the last time we were there. He was on the card the last time we were there.
Yes. Manuel Gallegos, light heavyweights. What do you like, B?
Co. I like Co.
Distance, stoppage.
I think I'm gonna go with the distance in this one.
I think he beats him up, but it goes the distance.
That's what I'm thinking.
Raymond Ford.
Yeah, this is great.
This is great. Look, B, do you remember scoring Raymond Ford, Nick Ball?
I remember the fight being razor thin. I think the difference was Ray Ford got knocked down, right?
Correct. I thought Ray Ford nicked it. That's his only loss. That was his last fight. I can't believe that was 5 months ago. It was a split decision, you know, nothing too. Orlando Gonzalez is 23-2. He hasn't been stopped in his 2 losses, 13 KOs. He's got a little pop. He lost to our guy, Robesi Ramirez.
Yeah.
So this is sort of where is he at fight. I thought he nicked the fight with Nick Ball, who is now a champion.
Nick Ball's a champion, yeah.
I think Raymond Ford's really good.
I do too. Another 25-year-old guy.
I think he wins 97, 93. I think it's impressive. I don't think he's gonna hurt Orlando Gonzalez because
Orlando Gonzalez never been knocked out.
Yeah, it tells me he's got a chin on him.
Where is he? Oh, he's from Aguadilla. All right, so this is going to be a little bit of battle of athleticism here.
I agree. And Ray Ford has a lot of it.
Yes, certainly.
He can be.
This is going to be a really good fight, guys.
He can be distracted in there.
Yeah.
By that I mean he thinks he's doing enough to win when he could be doing more. And when I say he could be doing more, I mean it in the literal sense. He's talented enough to, you know?
Yeah. I'm just sorry. I'm going over
But what I mean is sometimes you and I will say, well, we like it if he would XYZ, but they're not capable of doing it.
Right.
When we say it about Ray Ford, he is. It's maybe your issues with Abraham Nova is that he can't do the things you think he should be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Whereas with Ray Ford, I'm going, bro, what are you doing? I know how good you are. I think he could have made that fight kind of easy with Nick Ball. Nick Ball's tough as shit, and
if he just stayed on but Nick Ball seems to get inside, and we've seen, Nick Ball like improve. I feel like,
So do I. We said I was iffy, but I said I'm a big fan of Nick Ball, but I thought Ray Ford beat him, and I think he could have had a better game plan and beat him clean.
Gotcha.
Jaron Boots Ennis, Philly's own world champion. I believe the only champ in Philly right now, currently in boxing.
Okay.
Is fighting Karen Chukhadzhian, who he already Karen. So he's already fought this guy, Billy, right? Boots gives him a lesson.
But what's the distance?
What 1, 2, 3, 4 fights later, this guy somehow gets himself in a position for a rematch.
Right. Climbs his way back up the ladder of this one sanctioning body that we've been talking about for like the last month. The IBF.
Tough Ukrainian guy, just eating big shots. Billy,
is that where he's
Boots.
from? He's Ukrainian?
Just eating big shots. Boots is pummeling him. It looked like when Homer boxed and people were passing out because Homer wouldn't go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on here with this line, Billy?
Well, Ennis is like minus 3,000.
Right.
So,
right.
But
so what's the over under?
So
he's got
I didn't see an official over under, but they do like the rounds, and the odds on the rounds look like they're right around 6.5 is where it switches to be like. So it looks low.
That's good for you, Billy, because if he stops him, it's going to be late. In my opinion. I have another opinion, B, if you'd like to hear it.
Okay.
I'm not getting into that. He has to X, Y, Z. But I believe it would behoove Boots Ennis to get this guy out of there.
I agree.
That is a statement when a guy when we said a little bit earlier about Raymond Muratalla getting a guy out of there, and you go, but who was it?
Yeah.
Karen Chukhadzhian can fight. He's the 2-time title challenger. He's really good, and he's got an iron chin. This is different. This is a different type of guy on a different level.
Yeah. I'm thinking Boots stays very, for at least the first 3 or 4 rounds, very fundamentally sound here. I don't think he's going to try to waste any time because Chukhadzhian moves around the ring a lot.
He does.
This guy's running all over the place.
He is.
He's especially against Boots in that last fight. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I've never tuned into any of Chukhadzhian's other fights. So the only point of reference I have is Boots. I don't see this going the distance. Now, call me crazy. I think Boots is going to stop him, like you said, around the 7th or 8th. I think that either the referee or the corner probably won't stop it.
Right.
I think it's going to be a referee or doctor stoppage.
No, he's going to be like, I don't feel punch.
Yeah.
To his corner.
Right.
I think 8th round stoppage.
Okay. I'll agree with that. The 8th round. We'll be there. Wonder if we'll have the same seats.
Hey, listen. If Boots stops him, that's called a statement win.
Absolutely. And I don't care the method of stoppage.
Neither do I.
If he flatbacks him.
Yeah, that's more right.
Then, but I'm going to make a bold statement here. I think this is Boots' last fight at 47.
I don't know that because we talk so much, I don't know that I think it's bold. I think it's bold of a statement to make to the world.
I'm making it to the
you know what I mean?
The Knocker Nation.
I can see if they're not going to quickly unify.
Yeah.
Him fighting Virgil Ortiz at 54 in Saudi.
Right.
In a Riyadh season. If they don't
Oh, we forgot
they-
that one bit of news. Did you see Inoue teamed up with Riyadh Season?
I saw him with Turki Al Sheikh and
Yeah,
was
so
like,
he
"Is that what this
he
means?"
yes, he teamed up real quick just for the Nakis. Speaking of Riyadh Season, so Inoue teamed up with Riyadh Season as like he can fight elsewhere. He doesn't have to fight in Saudi. It's just going to be Riyadh
Yeah,
Season.
yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, so I just want to
B,
point that out.
let me ask you a question. We're going to talk about Bam Rodriguez, Pedro Guevara. Bam is the guy, the real guy, at Junior Bantam. You have number 7 pound for pound. Is that ours?
No.
That's not. He's higher on ours.
No, yeah, that's Ring's 7 pound for pound. Ring has him as 7.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't. Ours is
just
better than everybody's.
okay.
We have him somewhere else.
He's the champion. It's Pedro Guevara is the number 7 ranked WBC junior bantam. So it's
Yeah,
115 pounds, guys. If you're not hip to the little weights,
small guys, lots of punches, lots of action.
he's dude. He's got 4 losses, but he's never been knocked out.
Nope. And I'm gonna tell you what, I think fucking Bam goes through him like a hot knife through butter, or the dude that's never been stopped. Billy, is there a line on Jesse Rodriguez versus Pedro Guevara?
Yes, there is. Bam is minus 2,000, but it's the same thing. It's not an official that I saw yet, but it looks like it's at 8.5 is where it might come out.
That's where I would put it if I was the scummy Vegas.
Okay, so
I think Bam.
this guy's. By the way, guys, I think Vinny's onto something. He's got 46 fights. He's never been knocked out in 46 fights, but he's got 4 losses and a draw. But he's 35.
What B and I are essentially saying, 2 guys who are iron chinned are going to be stopped in Philadelphia.
So listen,
I like Bam Rodriguez in 8 or 9.
I just want to point out who he's lost to. Kenshiro Taraji, who we think is really good.
Really good.
Yu Kimura. John Riel Casamero, remember him?
Yeah, of course. Good fighter.
Really good. Yeah. And Carlos Cuadras in a splitter.
Who's was really good. He's older now.
So
he only loses the good guys.
Right. He only loses
but I think Bam is this
22 knockouts too.
Yeah.
I think that I think this is going to be interesting.
This is going to be fun until
but he's 35 with 46 fights.
Right. Yeah, I think Bam stops him late, not 11, 12 late, but 8 or 9.
I think Bam, it's now become signature, the body work.
Go downstairs early.
Yeah, I
put
think
put that money in the bank.
And the southpaw jab is fantastic.
Yeah.
Where his foot positioning is always fantastic.
It's tough for them to see that left hand coming too, B.
You can't see it. He sets it up so
he
beautifully.
blinds you. He blinds you with that jab you spoke of. That beautiful jab. It blinds you.
And it's rare for
someone who was really brilliant at doing that was Lennox Lewis. Watch the knockout of Hasim Rahman, how he blinded him with that. Boop, boop. He didn't even see that hook coming.
I'm saying this fight ends in the 6th.
Okay. I'm saying 8 or 9.
Bam's gonna fuck him up.
In Kissimmee, Florida, Jojo Diaz, Nicholas Walters. I heard Nicholas Walters is out.
You heard he's out? Okay.
Yes.
That was a weird fight anyway.
Yeah,
Jojo
but I
Diaz,
was
like, what is his?
I was a little bit interested. Hasn't Jojo Diaz lost like 4 or 5 or 5 or 6?
Yeah, how does he keep getting booked?
Well, now it's become a story. He went away to rehab, he got clean, and it's like the comeback. Like that's how they're selling it.
He's fighting Abraham Montoya.
Okay.
Oh, dude, take a look at this guy.
Oh boy.
Did you look at him?
No, I don't know that Jojo Diaz can get by Abraham Montoya at this point.
I don't, dude.
B?
Can you hear me?
What? Yeah. No. I was going to ask you a question that we've asked each other a lot in the history of our show, 103 episodes. When you're shot, are you even losing to guys like that? Like when I said anyone Wilder fights, he's gonna look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he didn't. He didn't
Well,
lose to
let's go to like the deal.
Hellenius.
You know, Montoya's 22-6, never been stopped. Okay, he's 30. He looks like he's 60.
Mm-hmm.
He lost his last fight, a UD to Mark Castro. Who Mark Castro is the guy who looks like Elon Musk.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I think he's gonna beat Diaz here. I think he's gonna beat him. I think Diaz is a head case, and I'm only saying that because I think Diaz is a head case.
Billy, if you can get odds a line on this, I am agreeing with my co-host and picking an upset special here
Special.
by a guy that is unheralded.
Yeah.
No line out right now.
Abraham Montoya will end for real end Jojo Diaz's career.
Did you get?
He
I sent you his picture.
Huh?
I sent you his picture.
He looks like a mental patient. I wouldn't fight this motherfucker. Yeah, I'm not fighting that guy. What are you, nuts?
No.
I'm predicting an upset special from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Subriel Matias, one of our guys who lost to Liam Parrow, heartbreaker for us, against Roberto Ramirez, 10 rounds, junior welter. B, do you know this is a pay-per-view?
On what?
I don't know.
Platform?
I don't know. But I can be less mad and feel like it's less egregious because we're going to be out anyway.
Yeah.
I'm
looking up Roberto. He's been knocked out twice, Roberto, by Zepeda.
I think Subriel Matias stops him.
And Abel Ramos.
I think he stops him in 6 or 7, gets back in the winning column, but then has to get back to work right after this win.
Yeah.
Not a guy like that, you know.
Matias is he's gonna beat him up. He should beat him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stops.
Yeah,
5.
I agree. I think he stops him. Yeah, 6 or 7.
Okay.
Billy Betts, we already discussed it. We have the lines that we have on the day of. All the lines will be on there. You have the app on your phone, Billy?
Yeah, we're gonna be getting Hotsy Totsy live.
Right, live.
Woo!
Yes.
Live.
We're gonna have him screenshot the bets, and then put them on the story
Bill, will you do that? Will you remember?
Sure.
We'll remind them, and then when we put it on our thing,
we're going. This is
Knock'em Nation is gonna be rooting for whoever Billy. You know what I mean? For Billy Billions. They don't want Billy Bindle sticks.
They don't want Miserability. They don't.
No, they don't want Miserability. Billy Bindle sticks.
Bill the Pill.
Right. Billy Pest.
Billy Pest.
Do we have any mail?
No, we don't. No one wrote us this week.
That was a funny. No, it wasn't a what's it called? A segue. It was just fun. Nah. No one wrote.
No one wrote us this week. You fucking. What the fuck are you guys doing out there? Voting or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Big up Doc Holliday for writing me.
Yeah.
Doc's my man. Doc really knows boxing.
I like that he was talking about New Bedford, because that whole area always cracked me up. There's a lot of students that went to my college
from there, yeah.
From New Bedford, Fall River.
Yeah.
That Fall River, New Bedford. You know, real
shout out for Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf from Fall River.
Yeah, Chris Herron, remember him, basketball player? Yeah, he's from that.
A shout out Doc. Doc's Doc's one of those guys who has been in the ring and had fights, knows what he's talking about. Guy, yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. Like legit tough guy. So someone I didn't like is kind of in his area. He's like, I'll fucking go over there and I'll fucking tune him up. Yeah, a little bit. I was like, all right. Let me sit on that. No, because you know when you're in the moment, you think of it, then you get oh my God, I have a kid.
What am I gonna do? Order a hit over here?
Right. Doc was offering that, he wanted to, smack him around a little bit.
So listen, we'll be in the arena on Saturday if you
come up and say hello, guys.
If you Knockies are there, say hello.
We'll post clues about where we're going afterwards.
Oh, like right.
You want to do that?
Right afterwards, right? If the Knock'em Nation wants to talk boxing,
we could do that.
Yeah, we're not going to tell them where we're at. We're going to just post clues.
Not. Right.
Oh,
right.
Interesting. I'm totally gonna get lost. You guys are gonna be
Mhm.
like, all right, meet here. We can't go together.
Oh, we're doing
and,
it to
and,
you.
yeah, and I'll get
We're
lost.
doing it to you and Raymond.
I like that.
All right.
All right, guys. Where can they find you, B?
All right. At I_no_that_kid at the Killer B24 on Twitter. Find us at KEOTB Boxing on IG at KOTB Podcast on YouTube, and write us, of course, at KOTBboxing@gmail.com.
Tons of you listen to this show, and like 600 people follow the Instagram. The math ain't math, people. What are you doing? You don't want to see our mugs?
It's not even our mugs.
That's the problem. No, the videos show our beautiful
Yeah,
mugs.
I think we should start putting our mugs up at this fight. We gotta get some photos.
Agreed. We got some good ones last time.
Fancy photo shoot, Bill. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Think we hire
About
out?
time for that.
Yeah.
You can find me at BoxCutterPazzi on IG, on Twitter at Vinny_Paz, JMTstore.com for those knock 'em out the box shirts. We'll see y'all on Saturday. Come up and say hello.
Peace, peace. Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.
Knock 'em out the box. Knock 'em out. Knock 'em out the box.